On May 22, 2010, police in Costa Mesa, California, received an emergency phone call.
Okay, what's going on, sir?
There's a body in my son's apartment.
There's a what?
A dead body.
A dead body? Are you sure, sir?
Man, I'm sure.
Is it someone that you know, sir?
I have no idea who she is, but I don't know what's going on.
The man we heard on the call was Steve Herr. He was calling from his son Samuel's apartment. Apparently, Sam had planned to spend the weekend at his parents' house, but after they hadn't heard from him and his phone was turned off, his parents became worried and decided to check on him. What they found inside was horrifying. A young woman was lying dead inside the apartment.
Does your son know who it is?
He's not here. Jesus, honey.
Okay. Do you know where your son is?
No, I don't.
Where in the apartment is she?
In the bedroom. She's with some sexual activity. She's dead. There's blood on her head. Jesus.
The victim was 23-year-old Julie Kibuishi. Her body was discovered next to the bed with a massive head wound. She was lying in a pool of her own blood.
Is anybody else in the apartment besides you?
Oh, no.
No one else is in there?
Yeah, here's somebody there. Okay. Who are you?
Sir, who are you talking to now?
Pick up, please. No. Just go. You're not here. Just go. I don't know. I got the cops coming. Go.
Who is that you're talking to?
One of his friends.
One of your son's friends? Has Jake talked to your son today?
No. I don't need you on the line, okay? I don't need you on the line. I'm good.
According to the police report, the apartment was surprisingly clean and organized. There were no obvious signs of a struggle. On the kitchen table, investigators found a wedding invitation belonging to Daniel Wozniak, one of Sam's closest friends. When detectives entered the bedroom, they noticed a small knife sitting on a table to the right of the bed. Julie's body was found on the left side of the bed, and written on the back of her shirt was a disturbing message. Digital forensic investigators examined Julie's cell phone, which had been found in the living room. Inside, they discovered several of the final text messages sent by Sam. The first message had been sent at 2:45 p.m. A few hours later, Sam sent several more messages, but these newer messages felt different. The tone was noticeably more concerning. Before we continue, it's worth learning a little more about Samuel Herr. Samuel Herr was a U.S. Army veteran who had served in Afghanistan. Military records showed that he had been deployed to one of the most dangerous combat zones and spent much of his service at Camp Keating. The psychological pressure he experienced during deployment eventually led to post-traumatic stress disorder. After returning from the military, Sam enrolled in college. That was where he met Julie. Julie was known as a kind and supportive person. She often helped Sam with his studies. The two quickly became close, which also explained why Julie was at Sam's apartment on the night of the murder. However, there was another detail in Sam's past that immediately caught investigators' attention. When he was 19 years old, Sam had been prosecuted for his possible involvement in the murder of one of his close friends, Byron Bennington. According to reports, on January 15, 2002, Sam had taken Byron behind an abandoned park. There, Byron was attacked and killed by a criminal gang. Although Sam was eventually acquitted and released after several court hearings, that history was enough for detectives to form an early theory. Investigators believed they might be dealing with a troubled veteran who had a questionable past, someone who may have been intoxicated or under the influence of drugs on the night of the murder. According to this theory, an argument may have broken out between Sam and Julie. Sam could have suffered a psychological episode. The situation spiraled out of control. Julie was killed, and afterward, Sam fled the scene to avoid the consequences.
The victim was just 23 years old. Her boyfriend is now missing.
He hasn't been seen since last week. Neighbors say his bicycle sits outside his apartment, but his vehicle is gone.
Now, the Costa Mesa police have released a photo and vehicle description hoping to locate a 26-year-old man suspected of killing his 23-year-old girlfriend.
A week passed. Police began interviewing everyone connected to either Sam or Julie. They spoke with Julie's brother, Sam's father, and even Daniel Wozniak and his fiancée, Rachel Buffett, the same couple whose wedding invitation had been found on the kitchen table. Investigators already knew from the text messages that Sam had been with Daniel and Rachel only hours before Julie's murder. According to the couple, on Friday, May 21st, the day before the body was discovered, Sam arrived at their home with an unidentified man wearing a black hat. The two men had a brief conversation. Then Sam left. While detectives were still searching for any clue that could lead them to Sam, Steve Herr called police once again. This time, he reported that several withdrawals had been made from a joint bank account he shared with his son. Investigators quickly traced the transactions. The money had been withdrawn from an ATM located nearly 20 miles away from Sam's apartment. When the bank handed over its surveillance footage, detectives finally got their first major break in the case. The person standing at the ATM wasn't Sam. An unidentified man had used the card to withdraw a total of $2,000. But that wasn't all. After making the withdrawals, the same person used the card to order a pizza, and that may have been his biggest mistake. With help from the restaurant, investigators obtained the delivery address connected to the order. Believing they might finally be closing in on Sam, police organized an operation. At this point, investigators still considered Sam their primary suspect. They were preparing to confront a potentially armed and psychologically unstable military veteran, but when officers arrived at the address, Sam wasn't there. Instead, a teenage boy answered the door. His name was Wesley Freilich. Wesley was around 16 or 17 years old. He knew nothing about Sam's disappearance, and he had never even heard about Julie's murder. According to Wesley, he had received the bank card from his acting coach, Daniel Wozniak. Daniel had told him that Sam was experiencing financial problems. Apparently, Sam had borrowed money from someone and had gotten himself into serious trouble. Daniel claimed Sam needed help withdrawing money from the account. Because Wesley trusted his acting coach, he agreed to help. There was only one detail that had seemed unusual. Daniel had specifically instructed him to wear a black hat while making the withdrawals. With this new information, the focus of the case shifted dramatically. Daniel Wozniak was no longer just a witness. He had become the primary suspect in Julie's murder and Sam's disappearance. 8 days after Julie's body was discovered, detectives arrested 26-year-old Daniel Wozniak. He was transported to the Costa Mesa Police Department for questioning.
I need to start from the beginning. Yeah. Friday morning, I woke up and got a call from Sam in the morning who said, "How serious are you about this?" And at the time, I was looking for a little bit of money, so I said, "Very serious. It can't work." She said, "Okay, what do we need to make it happen?"
Daniel Wozniak was born in California in 1984. In 2010, he was engaged to his longtime girlfriend, Rachel Buffett. Rachel was also an actress. The couple had been planning a large beachfront wedding scheduled for May 28, 2010. But behind the scenes, Daniel was struggling financially. His income from performing at a local theater wasn't even enough to comfortably cover his rent. According to Daniel, everything began when Sam approached him with a proposal. Daniel claimed that Sam had created a plan to steal money from his own bank account. The idea was simple. Wesley Freilich would withdraw money from the account. Then, Sam would report the card as stolen. The bank would reimburse the missing funds, and the extra money would be divided between them.
I said, "Okay, Wes, here's what we're going to do." I treated like I was a co-op guy, pretending to be I'm an actor. So I said, "Here's what you need to do. I'm going to park across the street." And I parked. It was across the street from the bank, so I wouldn't be seen while I was avoiding. I said, "What you're going to do is get out, grab your skateboard, go over there, enter the PIN number, take out $400. Because I heard it was the max that you could take out." He said, "Okay." He asked if it was illegal. I said, no, don't worry. That was a lie to him too.
Bank records confirmed that the first withdrawals had taken place on Friday afternoon, the day before Julie's body was discovered. But detectives still needed to understand what had happened afterward. They wanted to know exactly where Sam had gone, and when Daniel had last seen him alive. Investigators asked him a direct question. "When was the last time you saw Sam?" Daniel answered that it had been on the morning of the murder.
I got a knock on my door. I want to say it was about 8:30 in the morning. Opened the door, it was Sam. He's like, there's a dead body in my apartment. He's like, okay. Basically, as soon as you left me, I started doing some drugs and drinking again because I was very depressed about my family. I said, what did you do? He's like, I got a gun. He asked me for sex. He was pretty up. He said no, and then he just shot her twice.
According to his story, he had decided he no longer wanted to be involved in Sam's scheme, but Sam had threatened him and forced him to drive him to a local shopping center. At this point, detectives decided it was time to verify Daniel's story. A DNA test could help determine whether he had any involvement in Julie's murder, and if he was telling the truth, it might remove him from the suspect list entirely. But Daniel's reaction immediately raised concerns. As soon as DNA was mentioned, he became noticeably nervous. He quickly explained that he had been inside Sam's apartment the day before, and because of that, his DNA might be found somewhere inside the residence. This move was considered a major red flag for the police. They believed Daniel was likely hiding something.
What we're going to do is, this is a swab. I'm going to get a swab for to eliminate you. Should we take a sec?
Oh, eliminate me?
Yeah, eliminate you from any issues. So basically, just open your mouth for me. There you go. That's it.
Oh, okay. Well.
Basically, you know, where it is, it's just an elimination process. You're not in trouble with us, you've been honest. There should be no reason why we should find your DNA anywhere.
Now, I was in Sam's apartment Friday afternoon.
Okay.
And I know I did use the bathroom.
You did use the bathroom?
I used the bathroom, and I went, I'm not sure if I went out on the patio, John. Most of the time I do, but that day I don't know if I did.
Okay. We got your DNA?
Yes.
Okay. Where's that DNA going to show up?
Sam's car.
What about on Julie?
No, it wouldn't be on Julie.
You sure about that?
Yes, I'm positive about that.
Did you see Julie dead in the apartment?
No, I did not.
I think you know a little more about this thing than you're divulging to us.
No, I don't.
I think there's a whole lot more.
There may be, but please question me on any gaps that I want to fill. Absolutely.
As far as your participation in this thing.
As far as my participation?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I helped him get away. Yes, I knew that he had killed someone, and yes, I knew that I...
Stop right there.
At this point, the suspect had already admitted to helping a killer escape. He had also been involved in a fraud scheme, and on top of that, he had seen Julie's body inside his friend's apartment and did nothing about it. Investigators then decided to corner him. They used a bluff. They told Daniel that DNA evidence had been found on the victim's body.
Something.
Absolutely, yeah. You're arrested. For murder, okay? Accessory to murder. That's what you're being arrested for. You don't want to talk to us anymore? That's it.
Okay,
Yeah, we're done.
Hold on.
We're done.
Whoa.
We're done. Unless you want to talk to us, we're done.
I will talk to you about anything if it gets me to my wedding on Friday. That's what I will promise. Anything you want.
Go ahead, we're listening.
Yes, I helped Sam get away. Yes, I did not know what he was planning until then. Yes, I lied to you guys earlier. Yes, I did stuff that I'm not proud of. That's it.
Dan, you got the answers. You can help us. I don't know what else you want me to say. I don't know. Tell us. I don't know. Tell us the truth.
He came down and said, help me. I went upstairs, and yes, I saw the goddamn body. Is that what you want to hear?
No. We want to hear the truth.
That is the truth.
How'd your DNA get on her?
Because I was right over the body.
What's that?
Because I was right over the body.
Okay. So how'd your DNA get on her?
That I don't know.
DNA doesn't just fall off.
I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't touch her. I didn't do anything.
What did you see?
I saw 2 gunshots in her head. And I saw her pants, like, ripped and cut. And I saw, like, written on the back of the shirt.
Where were the 2 bullet wounds?
I don't know. Sam said he shot her twice.
Okay.
And
But
I didn't see.
You just told us you saw 2 bullet wounds. You were standing over.
No. Okay.
Whoa,
Okay.
stop.
Okay.
How did your DNA get on? I was standing over the body. I saw 2 bullet woons to her head.
Exactly what you said, Dan.
You can't even keep your life straight.
There was something important here. Detectives had seen the wounds on the victim's head, and they knew that just by looking, you could not determine exactly how many bullets had been fired. In other words, only two people could know the exact number: the medical examiner and the shooter. At this point, detectives decided to increase pressure and bring Rachel into the interrogation room. Rachel said that Daniel had borrowed a large amount of money months earlier from a dangerous man. The money was used to pay rent and fund an expensive wedding. The repayment deadline was Friday, May 21st, the day before the incident. That same day, Sam had come to their home. After that, Sam and Daniel left the house together. A few hours later, Daniel returned home. He had $400 in cash.
He told me that people were going to come break his legs, and he was scared out of his mind. He came down to the apartment because he was going to give Dan a ride. He had $400 somehow on Friday.
After the interview, Rachel was temporarily released. Daniel, however, was taken into custody. That same night, Daniel called Rachel from the police station. During the call, they discussed a backpack containing Sam's blood-stained clothes, his wallet, and his phone. Daniel said he had given the backpack to his brother Tim and told him to get rid of it.
What did you do?
I helped Sam cover some stuff up and helped him get some drugs. That's it. I didn't murder anybody.
My mom's working on canceling all the wedding plans now, and I just talked to Tim, and I need to make a phone call to the detective now. Tim says he has evidence with him, or he knew where it was or something.
Then I'm doomed.
Do you know that Tim had some evidence?
Yeah. Oh God, oh God, oh God.
This is ridiculous, and I have to go tell the detective the truth.
No, baby, no, don't. That can't be found. Babe, listen to me. I'm gonna go do something right now, and you're not gonna see me for the rest of your life. Do you understand that?
No.
I have to tell the truth on what I did, and I think you now know what it is, and it's bad. Imagine the worst, and that's what I did.
I love you, Kitty. I'll be right there. Okay.
After this call, Daniel requested to speak again with the lead investigator.
Okay. Talk to us. What do you have to tell me? You said you wanted to talk to me. What's going on?
I'm crazy and I did it.
You did what?
I killed Julie and I killed Sam.
Okay. All right.
I killed them both.
All right.
Sam came first. It was all just about the money. That was it.
All right.
100%. Sam is decapitated.
Okay.
His head and hands have been decapitated, as well as his arm that had a tattoo.
What was going on in your mind when you were dismembering the body, dismembering Sam's body?
I was actually smiling and laughing.
And your motive behind killing Sam was?
Money and insanity.
Money and insanity. Okay.
Daniel claimed that he had asked Sam to come to the Liberty Theater. He told him they needed help moving boxes, but in reality, it was a trap. According to Daniel, he killed Sam there. He then dismembered the body and dumped it in a park near Long Beach. What shocked investigators even more was what happened next. Just hours after the murder, Daniel went on stage. He performed in a musical alongside his fiancée Rachel, dancing and singing as if nothing had happened.
And you will be my true love.
During the performance, while backstage, Daniel used Sam's phone. He sent a message to Julie, luring her to Samuel's apartment. In reality, the murder of Julie had nothing to do with the money scheme. It was a cover, a way to hide the crime and frame Sam.
Top of the morning to you, Guido, me, and you will be my true love.
After these statements, Daniel was charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. Even though his confession had been completely clear, he later claimed he was innocent when the case reached court. However, a recorded phone call from a second conversation between Daniel and Rachel was later added to the evidence, and it left absolutely no doubt about the details of the case.
I shot him 2 times in the back of the head. And then I grabbed his credit cards and I grabbed Wesley and we took money out of his account. I opened up the door of Sam's apartment and shot her twice in the back of the head.
How did nobody hear the gun?
I don't know. I got lucky.
Why did I do it? I love you, baby. You are so insane and so stupid. And I know in your twisted little mind you were doing it because you wanted to be happy with me. And I hate you for screwing it up.
A few days after the details of the murders became public, someone contacted police and added a new layer to the story. The caller's name was Chris Williams. Chris claimed that he was a friend of both Daniel and Rachel, and that he was actually the person who had loaned them money. According to Chris, he had loaned Daniel and Rachel $2,000 from his own money. However, he told them that the money had come from a dangerous person. He did this to make sure they would pay him back. This meant that on the day of the murders, Daniel was not being threatened by anyone dangerous. He simply owed $2,000 to his friend Chris. This information caused investigators to look at Rachel again as a possible accomplice. After all, she knew about the borrowed money, and it was possible that she had helped Daniel either plan the murders or conceal evidence afterward. As a result, Rachel was called back to the police department for another interview.
Why don't you tell me why you forgot to tell me about this?
Because honestly, I was afraid that if you knew that Chris had seen us that day, I don't know who Chris knows, and I don't know if he knows me very bad.
Well, you don't think we were going to find out?
They'll come to me.
Did you think we were not going to find out?
I guess not. I don't know. I'm
Investigators did not believe everything she was saying, so they asked her to undergo a voice stress analysis test and answer a series of questions. The device, which is sometimes considered a form of lie detection, attempts to identify the difference between stressed and non-stressed speech patterns, with an accuracy of roughly 50%.
Did you plan the murder with Dan?
I'm trying to remember everything I can. I've told you guys everything I know. I'm completely innocent.
He's gone for 3 hours and he comes back having a heart attack.
Yeah.
We know he's out killing Sam at that point.
I thought he was just overreacting because he thought he was afraid of loan sharks and getting hurt. I'm sorry that I'm not the kind of person who just goes berserk and loses their mind when they hear this. I just sit there in shock and soak it in.
You were in shock.
Throughout the examination, Rachel remained consistent. She continued to stand by her story, and because there was no physical evidence connecting her to either murder, police had no choice but to release her. During the trial, which took place in mid-December 2015, the senior assistant district attorney for Orange County asked the jury to impose the death penalty. Meanwhile, Daniel's defense team argued that Rachel had actually been the one who pushed him into committing these horrific crimes. Because of that, they claimed Daniel should not receive the harshest punishment. But in the end, on January 11, 2016, after several court hearings, Daniel Wozniak was convicted of 2 counts of first-degree murder and sentenced to death, although he is currently being held in a California state prison, and it remains unclear whether his death sentence will ever be carried out under the state's newer laws. In December 2016, Daniel's brother, Tim, admitted to being an accessory after the fact. He had helped Daniel hide evidence related to the murders. Tim was sentenced to 3 years of informal probation. And finally, after 2 years of legal proceedings, Rachel Buffett was convicted of being an accessory after the fact. She was sentenced to 32 months in prison, and in 2019, Rachel was released at the age of 32.
I wish Sam and Julie were still here. I wish I could have done something to save them. I wish I never met Daniel Wozniak. I wish I never let him into my life. I wish I saw him for the liar and the manipulator he was from day one. And I wish there was something I could do to fix this now.